Every army in the world feared them, not because of their numbers, not because of their weapons, because of what they were willing to do. You are about to walk into a battle you know you might not survive, and you are not afraid. That's not courage, that's Sparta. 18 hours before the battle, you wake up before the sun, not because someone tells you to, because your body doesn't know how to sleep past dawn anymore. It was trained out of you a long time ago. You are 32 years old. You have been a soldier since you were 7. You don't remember a life before this. You're not sure you'd want one. You rise from a simple wooden bed in the barracks. No soft mattress, no warm blanket. A wool cloak and a stone floor are luxury enough. Outside, Sparta is already moving. The sound of training, of iron on iron, of men who were born to do exactly one thing. You wash your face in cold water. You don't think about the battle. Not yet. There will be time for that. 16 hours before the battle, you pass a group of boys training in the field beside the road. 7, maybe 8 years old, running barefoot on sharp gravel. No complaints, no tears. You stop for a moment and watch them. You remember being exactly that age. You remember that exact same gravel. You were 7 years old when they took you from your mother. No tears, no goodbyes. That's not how Sparta works. You entered the Agoge, the training system that turned Spartan boys into the most feared soldiers the world has ever seen. For the next 13 years, you learned one thing above all else: how to endure. You slept on reed beds you cut yourself. You were given one cloak for an entire year, winter included. You were kept hungry on purpose, so you'd learn to find food, to be resourceful, to function when your body had nothing left. You were beaten, not as punishment, as training, because pain in Sparta is just information. You graduated at 20. You became a full Spartan citizen, a Spartiates. Most armies in the world would consider you their greatest warrior. In Sparta, you are just another soldier. You look at the boys one more time. In 20 years, some of them will stand exactly where you are standing now. You hope the world gives them a battle worth fighting. You keep walking. 14 hours before the battle, you eat with your unit, your syssitia, your mess. 15 men, the same 15 men you have eaten with, trained with, slept beside for over a decade. These are not your friends. They are something more than that. The meal is simple: black broth, pork boiled in blood, salt and vinegar, bread, a few olives. A Persian visitor once tasted the black broth and said he finally understood why Spartans don't fear death. Because any man who eats this every day is already suffering. The table laughs. You've heard the joke before. You laugh anyway. Nobody talks about tomorrow. Not because they're afraid, because there's nothing to say that hasn't already been understood. You finish your meal. You pass the cup. Time to work. 12 hours before the battle. The afternoon belongs to the body. You train every day. Even today, especially today. Not to get stronger. You are already as strong as you will ever be. You train to stay sharp, to keep the machine running, to remind your muscles what they already know. The core of everything is the phalanx. You lock shields with the men beside you. Your shield covers not just you, but the man to your left. His shield covers you. This is the secret of Sparta. Not individual strength, not individual glory. The wall. The moment one man breaks, the wall breaks, and the wall never breaks. You push, you hold, you move as one. 14 men breathing in the same rhythm, 14 shields becoming a single surface. The Persian army has numbers. You have this, and this is enough. Training is over. You pick up your spear and walk back into the city. And for a moment, you see Sparta the way a stranger would. No great temples, no marble colonnades, no grand forum filled with politicians and merchants. Visitors who come expecting a city often leave confused. Where is Sparta, they ask. It is here, in the training grounds, in the mess halls, in the boys running barefoot through the hills. Sparta doesn't build monuments. Sparta is the monument. And it has no walls. It never needed them. Our men are our walls. The Eurotas River runs cold and fast through the valley. Spartan boys learn to cross it before they learn anything else. Sparta is ruled by 2 kings, not 1, 2. One governs, one leads the army. Right now, King Leonidas is in the field. He took 300 men with him, handpicked, all of them with living sons, so that the Spartan bloodline would survive whatever came next. Every man in this city knows that Leonidas didn't choose survivors. He chose men willing to die so that Greece could live. Below the Spartan citizens, the Helots, slaves who farm so that every warrior can dedicate his entire life to war. 7 helots for every Spartan citizen. The system is brutal. Nobody talks about it. You walk through the Agora, and you see the old men watching you. In Sparta, old men earned their right to sit by having once stood where you stand now. They fought at Marathon, at Plataea. They survived everything. And now they sit and watch, passing the weight of it to the men walking past them. Go, hold, come back. That is all they say. That is all that needs to be said. 8 hours before the battle, you walked past the old men, past the Agora, past the training grounds, and then you see them. Spartan women are unlike any other women in the ancient world. They run, they train, they own property, they speak their minds. In a world where most women have no voice at all, and they raise warriors, not by protecting them from hardship, by teaching them that hardship is the point. Here's what nobody tells you about Sparta. The most feared words a warrior ever hears don't come from an enemy. They come from his mother. 4 words every Spartan mother says to every Spartan son before every battle. With it or on it. Come back carrying your shield. You survived. You held. You fought. Or come back lying on top of it, carried by your brothers, dead, but not defeated. There is no third option in Sparta. There never was. 4 hours before the battle, you set the shield down against the stone wall. The sun is gone. Night has come to Sparta. You sit alone for the first time today. The camp is quiet around you. You take your helmet in your hands. You turn it over slowly. The bronze is warm. There are scratches you don't remember getting. Every dent tells a story. Every story brought you here. What goes through a man's mind the night before he walks into battle? You oil your spear. You check the edge of your sword. You tighten the strap on your shield one more time. Every soldier in history has done this, the quiet preparation before the storm. But you do it differently. You do it without trembling. Around you, the camp is quiet. Men are sleeping, or pretending to. You don't sleep, not because you're afraid, because you want to feel this last hour of stillness, before the world becomes noise and iron and dust. You breathe in. Tomorrow you fight. Tonight, you are just a man, sitting with his shield, and that is enough. The battle. You don't know when you fell asleep. You only know the horn woke you. Before dawn, the horn sounds, and you are on your feet before it finishes. The camp moves like a single organism. No panic, no confusion. Every man knows exactly where to stand. Every man has known since he was 7. You take your position in the phalanx, left foot forward, shield up, spear level. The man to your right locks his shield against yours. The man to your left does the same. The wall is complete. 300 men, against the largest army the world has ever seen. Ahead of you, the pass of Thermopylae. Behind you, Greece. Everything Greece ever was, and everything it will ever be. King Leonidas walks the line. He doesn't give a speech. He doesn't need to. He stops beside you. He looks at you the way a man looks at someone he trusts completely, and then he moves on. That is enough. The sun rises. The Persian army appears on the horizon. You don't count them. It doesn't matter how many they are. What matters is the wall, and the wall has never broken. You tighten your grip. You breathe. The horn sounds again, and the wall moves forward. After the battle, the wall moved forward. For 3 days, it did not break. 3 days, against the largest army the world had ever assembled. On the 3rd day, a Greek traitor showed the Persians a mountain path. The Spartans were surrounded. Leonidas knew. He sent the allies home. He kept 300. They knew what it meant. They stayed anyway. Now the pass is quiet. The ground tells the story. Broken spears, fallen shields, the marks of 3 days of war. 300 men who chose this, who walked in knowing, who never walked out. King Leonidas fell on the 3rd day, fighting until the very end. The Persians moved through the pass. They thought they had won. They were wrong. Thermopylae bought Greece exactly what it needed. Time, just enough time to prepare, to fight back, to survive. 1 year later, Greece defeated Persia at the Battle of Plataea. The 300 made it possible, every last one of them. At the past today, there is a monument, a stone inscription, an inscription that has lasted 2,500 years. Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie. They didn't die for glory. They died so that others could live. And the world they saved still exists because of what happened here. 2,500 years later, the world they died for is still here, but Sparta is gone. The city dissolved into history over 2,000 years ago. The Agoge, the Syssitia, the two kings, all of it gone. And yet, here's what nobody expected. Sparta never really died. The idea survived, that a small group willing to hold can stop anything. That idea spread through every army, every culture, every war that followed. Every soldier who ever stood his ground when everything said to run was doing something Spartan, whether he knew it or not. Think about every story you know about the few against the many. Every battle where numbers didn't matter, where will did. Sparta taught the world something it couldn't unlearn. The most dangerous army isn't the biggest one. It's the one that won't break. Today, the word Spartan means something in every language on earth. Discipline, sacrifice, the willingness to hold when everything says to run. 300 men, 2,500 years ago. They didn't know their names would last forever. They just held the line.